Mold it. Let it remind you that you were never meant to be at her feet. You were meant to be untouchable, a force so focused, so forged by experience, that nothing she says or does can shake you again. Women aren't attracted to the nice guy who bends. They're magnetized by the man who doesn't need them, the one who's so wrapped up in his mission, so consumed by self-mastery, that her attention is a luxury, not a necessity. If she knows she's the center of your world, you've already lost her. Because the second she realizes you live for her, she stops living for you. That's the game. Harsh? Maybe. True? Always. And if you keep ignoring that, you'll keep finding yourself ghosted, used, betrayed, not because you weren't good enough, but because you weren't powerful enough. There's a difference. What keeps you up at night isn't her. It's the part of you that knows you haven't stepped into your full power yet. The part of you that knows you've been playing small, compromising, hoping she notices your effort instead of demanding her respect. And let me tell you, there is nothing more dangerous than a man who realizes his own worth after she's gone. Because that man, he's no longer waiting. He's building, he's rising, and when she tries to come back, he won't be there, not out of spite, but because he's outgrown her. The man who learns to lead himself never needs to be led by anyone again. That's what real masculine energy is. It's not toxic. It's not cruel. It's directional. It says, I know where I'm going, with or without you. And ironically, that's the very energy that draws the highest quality women into your orbit. Not because you chase them, but because you force them to rise just to stand beside you. You don't need closure. You don't need another conversation. You need clarity. You need to wake up and realize that she was just a chapter, not the whole book. And if you're still stuck on that one page, you're missing out on the empire you're supposed to build. You're supposed to be dangerous, not violent, but powerful. A man who can walk away without looking back. A man who knows that losing her was the best thing that ever happened because it forced you to find yourself. If you died tomorrow, would she cry for you? Would she honor you? Or would she move on in a week and laugh about how obsessed you were? That thought should terrify you. That fear should light a fire under your soul, because the only way to guarantee she never forgets you is to become the man no woman could ever replace. Not by begging, not by pleasing, but by becoming the version of you that doesn't flinch, doesn't chase, doesn't ask for love. He commands it by existence alone. And once you taste that kind of power, you'll never go back. You need to stop blaming women for your weakness and start blaming yourself for allowing it. It's not her fault you bent over backwards to make her stay. It's not her fault you let her words shatter you. It's not her fault you paused your mission to become more convenient for her schedule. That's on you. Because the moment you made her comfort your priority over your growth, you surrendered your masculine edge. And without edge, a man is nothing. Comfort is where warriors go to die. You chose to be soft, and softness always gets discarded in the end. You weren't dumped, you were replaced by someone less available, more focused, and completely unbothered. You think being emotionally available will win her over? No. What wins her over is emotional dominance. The ability to be calm when she's chaotic, stable when she's testing, silent when she's provoking. A man who doesn't flinch when the storm comes is the man she clings to when it does. And you, right now, you're not that man. You're flinching, doubting, reacting. You're hoping she comes back instead of building a life that makes her absence feel irrelevant. You are making her the center of a story that was always supposed to be about you. She was the side character. You just gave her the script and let her rewrite your part. You need to dominate your mind before you ever try to lead in a relationship. That means knowing who you are without her, without validation, without sex, without compliments. That means building a kingdom so real, so structured, that a woman entering your life has no choice but to respect it or leave quietly. You don't win in relationships by trying harder. You win by becoming a man who doesn't need to try at all. A man who walks with such certainty that her love feels like a bonus, not a necessity. If you require her love to feel powerful, you were never powerful to begin with. Here's the truth. High-value women crave gravity. They don't want a man they can control. They want a man who controls himself. They want someone who isn't swayed by moods or insecurities, someone so locked into his path that she feels safe just being in his orbit. You've been lied to by weak men and broken women. You've been told to talk more, cry more, apologize more, compromise more. But the more you compromise, the more they lose respect, because they don't want to date their therapist. They want to submit to someone they believe in. And belief only comes from results, from reputation, from the cold reality that you are unshakable. You're sitting here mourning the loss of a girl who was never built to stay because you were never built to lead. She left because you were still figuring it out. She drifted because you let her steer. You were trying to hold hands when you should have been building walls, setting standards, protecting your peace. If she walked away, don't take it as a wound, take it as a wake-up call. Rejection isn't failure, it's filtration. The universe removed her because your next version doesn't accommodate her chaos. Your future self doesn't need her. Your future self attracts better. Don't beg her to understand. Don't send the last text. Don't try to explain your worth to someone who never saw it in the first place. That's not strength. That's submission in disguise. Your strength comes when you say nothing and become everything, when your silence echoes louder than your arguments, when your presence becomes the proof, not your words. She was a lesson, not a legacy. There is a fire inside of you that's been burning beneath the surface, suffocated by heartbreak, doubt, and softness, disguised as romance. But now, it's time to let it rise, not out of anger, but out of clarity. Because once you realize you don't need her, you become the man she'll chase for the rest of her life. Not because you manipulated her, but because you evolved beyond her emotional range. You rose above the games. You transcended the role of her emotional puppet. And now you walk alone. Not lonely, but legendary. This is your moment to stop being a spectator in your own life, to stop overanalyzing text and start analyzing your trajectory, to stop building your self-worth around a woman's response and start building it from your accomplishments, your discipline, your self-mastery. You're not lost, you've just been distracted. And every time you placed your energy in her instead of yourself, you fed the beast that was set to test your focus. Women aren't the problem, your neglect of your mission is. The man who knows where he's going never stops to chase shadows. Right now, you've got a choice. Either continue being a romantic casualty of modern chaos, or become the man she tells stories about but never gets to keep. You have to take responsibility for the love you tolerate, the heartbreak you repeat, the cycles you stay chained to. You're not stuck. You're choosing stagnation because it's familiar, but the truth is, nothing will change until you decide to outgrow the weak version of yourself that needed constant validation to feel alive. That version was addicted to dopamine, to comfort, to female attention. It made you soft. But that man dies today, and in his place rises a man so focused, so dangerous in his intention, that no woman can distract him, only elevate him, or be left behind. Forget being liked, be respected. Stop texting her, start building. She left, let her go. She's hot, so what? Millions are. You're the prize when you're undeniably valuable, and value is built in silence, in solitude, in the gym, in your purpose, in the grind that nobody sees. That's where kings are made, not in her bedroom, not in late night calls begging her to explain her mood swings. If you need her affection to feel masculine, your masculinity was an illusion. And illusions shatter, reality builds legacies. And legacy is what you owe yourself. From this moment on, you live like a man who can't be broken. Not because you're numb, but because you become so damn solid that no one else's chaos shakes your core. When she leaves, you don't cry, you reflect, you recalibrate, you upgrade. You don't spiral, you sharpen your weapons. You don't chase women, you chase purpose and let the feminine gravitate towards your unshakable frame. Because the man who's truly aligned doesn't beg, he attracts. And not through manipulation, but through the natural gravity of who he's become. Start treating your time like a treasure chest. Guard it, protect it. Don't give it to anyone who hasn't earned it with respect, loyalty, and peace. The same way you wouldn't hand over your life savings to someone reckless, don't hand over your energy to someone who hasn't shown they value it. Your time, your presence, your attention, it's royal. Treat it like it is. Not every woman deserves access to your kingdom. Some are only meant to watch from outside the gates. And those who don't match your standard will naturally fall away. Let them. Your evolution is not meant to keep everyone comfortable. This isn't just about getting girls. This is about becoming a man who can command rooms, build empires, lead tribes, a man who doesn't rely on love to be whole, because he's already full, a man who doesn't text 10 women for confidence because his reflection gives him certainty, a man who wakes up hungry, moves with force, speaks with clarity, and lives with conviction. That's the man she craves. But more importantly, that's the man you were always meant to become. You just forgot. This is your reminder. You're not waiting anymore. You're not begging anymore. You're not playing small. You're going to take that heartbreak, that betrayal, that ghosting, that disrespect, and turn it into fuel. You're going to use it as a stepping stone, not a gravestone. You're going to train harder, move smarter, think clearer, speak less, and earn everything. No more trying to be the guy who gets her to stay. Be the man who makes her regret ever leaving. Be the man who doesn't need her back because he moves so far ahead she can't even see him anymore. There's no going back to the old you. That version served its purpose. He was soft, he was naive, but he's gone now. And in this place stands a man with fire in his soul, steel in his spine, and a future so bright it burns the eyes of those who doubted him. From now on, you walk like a storm. You move like a leader. You love with standards. You speak with purpose. You speak out your feet. You have your sandwich with a purpose, and you never let a relationship define you, because the only thing that defines you is the empire you build with your own two hands.